Hi, welcome. In this video, I'd like to discuss the issue of dogs that will try to barge through doorways. As you open the door up and you're entering with the dog, and the dog gets completely stressed and will try to surge through the door very quickly to try not to get kind of in between. Okay, the dog is having a reaction to that. Now, I bring this up because this is something I noticed was actually happening just 2 days ago. I'm thinking what day it was. I was up with Jax, with the dog owner, service dog. I was helping to kind of provide a little bit of help. And the issue with Jax was, going towards the veterinarian office and entering. Okay, Jax was starting to lunge, and tying everything together in terms of how what was happening. Even there's an employee inside the veterinary clinic was really putting a lot of emotion on Jax. Okay, so Jax, again, a little history with Jax. Jax started off, and this is the thing, because this all connects with certain dynamics in terms of the dog's reaction. Is Jack started off with holding a tremendous amount of control in the relationship with his owners. Okay, very possessive. In fact, when I met Jack's owners, I mean, the owner had like bite marks all the way up his arm, and not like aggressive, that type of high level possessiveness of that biting behavior, just crazy. And so me getting involved with the service dog aspect took a lot of work, a lot of time to get get things into alignment. Okay, a lot of working the method, a lot of time, but but always a dynamic with that was one of the owners is very emotional with Jax. Okay, just too much emotion, and so even having to line that up, all right, really putting a structure in place to really tamp that back and get her involved with the dog, to really get the method going as well, so that she fades in the right way. But all to say that, okay, when you when you're doing service dog training, and so my whole thing is having that lifetime commitment with people, is getting to a level where things can happen where the dog starts to gain control a little bit if certain dynamics take place. And one of these dynamics at the vet clinic was, if you look at a highly emotional person in there putting a lot of petting on the dog, not good. Okay, and the owner kind of allowing that to happen, and then he's trying to get things back into right standing with the dog, so doing lots of downs. But Jax, again, because how that's tying in, I mean, even certain at a positional level, his mind is still pushing out. So so me going there was very helpful. Now getting back to the issue of the door, this is where, again, open the door up, and Jack's really trying to get through that door fast. Okay, trying to get ahead of the owner, and then turning around to the side, and just really being stressed when when that doorway opens and having to go through that doorway, wanting to avoid that. Okay, now the issue there is about control. So the thing to understand is when a dog gains control, then tight openings, okay, begin to impact. Okay, put pressure on the dog. It could be tight openings, because it starts to really put pressure and impact dog's decision making, like the mind's pulling in. So the dog wants to avoid that. So the solution, again, this is me getting there. So as soon as I got there, okay, Jack started performing much better. Okay, just seeing me, it'd be like the boss of a big company showing up, right? And already at a associative level, knowing, tying it in terms of my standard, and how I will engage. Okay, the dog, it's like already been through the whole process. Jack's already knowing. All right, so I already had my leash on, and already working the method. So in fact, the owner's like, Dale, I can't believe this, Jax is doing so much better so quickly. I said, well, because he knows better. Okay, but the moment where the door opened up, though, okay, and you see right at that moment, Jax really, that was that. And again, the contrast here is, that builds up more stress, because as we're getting closer to the vet clinic, and in terms of the same employee was in there, okay, for this exercise, is the contrast to that is like, because now I'm there, expectations higher, Jax is losing more control, right? And so it's going to have a greater impact on his state of mind. It's going to pull in even harder temporarily because it's causing a different stress reaction, because now the things are switching gears, and so, you know, he has a tendency for that to come out more to that door opening. So the solution is, again, when we're doing it, we did that 3 or 4 times. You just is to line up so that Jax is right beside the owner. He's tapped, I'm tapping the leash, okay, to interrupt that state, to get him, bring him under a level of influence, okay, to interrupt, okay, that level of how his mind is being affected, control is manifesting, is to interrupt that. And as I'm, even with my hand, I'm moving him over to get it so that they're going in together, okay, side by side. So, but you have to kind of really focus on slowing that whole, turning into that type of focused exercise when you're doing something like that. And even when you go in, the employee was there, so putting him into a down position, and the first couple times, just with good integrity of the method, she can't pet, not allowed to pet the dog. Of course, she had a whole different reaction when I was in there anyway. I mean, she's very, very much alongside of what we're doing. Some people who are really emotional aren't, okay, they get really almost offended, okay, but for her, she was great. And so, you know, just working around her, putting Jax in lots of down positions, and then we actually had her touch the top of Jax's head, okay, as I'm doing the push-pull. And so really lining it up really well. So it really was a great exercise. It ended really well. Even the doorway issue is working on that, in and out, in and out. We did that 4 or 5 times. And then after that, we even went into the public supermarket for 10 minutes and continued to work it, okay? And so really a lot of this, understand, is I call it like a mirroring type of process, where you give the owner the ability, okay, of really seeing just the level of change so fast, and knowing it's all about how people think, okay? So Jax, you know, the owner kind of let things slide a little bit, you know, in his thinking, and I think he kind of knew that. And because he's made great progress with Jax. Jax is absolutely a fantastic, in most cases, fantastic. So it's just certain things that, you know, have tied in and began to affect Jax. But again, how quickly he came out of it, just based on, you know, very specific exercise, getting the owner to think different, and just making sure the method is tying in really well. Good integrity of the method, but even looking at, not just at a physical way, in terms of Jax's state of mind, just knowing how that mind is pushing, or, you know, just releasing, because even in there you can see Jax just releasing the stress, okay, just going into a really calm state. So you really want to make sure the dog is like almost like taking a deep breath, and just the mind just relaxing. You want to make sure you're achieving that, not just on, so you might have a down position, the dog is still like you know, fixated and tense. When you do it, you want to make sure the dog is, you know, is going prone. You know, a lot of dogs, sometimes they go in a down position, but there's like 2 or 3 inches where they're just like, and they're like just stiff. They look like they're in a down, but they haven't released it. So getting a point where their chest is actually hitting the floor area, but then relaxing at the same time too, letting it go. Okay, that's the goal, is to release that, because that's what you want. You want the dog to truly come into a really good follower state. So again, just want to mention about the door opening. When you see that happening, you know, likely, especially, you know, it goes into a higher level, likely that's tied into something else right immediately following that, where the dog's gained, say, a lot of emotion through somebody. So it's associative. And then when you start to, you know, tighten things up, so to speak, and start to really frame it up properly, you're going to have a higher reaction at first, because, you know, the dog knows what you're doing. You're taking control. Now you're reversing everything, and the dog's mind starting to pull in even harder. But so really pay attention to that. Don't get discouraged. Understand what's going on, because the dog will release that just as fast, right? Just like the dog knows, and it's like, okay. Because at the end, Jax is going through that doorway so much better. Just starting to really let that go, because that's the thing, is you have to be in the moment. You can't have to let all the baggage go, and you have to let the method, okay, speak the right language. It's got to come together really, really good. So thanks for watching.